Hi everybody, this is Ken Holmes with Selective Solutions. We are a local IT company serving Rockdale, Newton and the surrounding counties as well as Metro Atlanta. Today we are going to look at the size of your mouse cursor and your regular cursor and how to manage it. The cursor that comes with Windows is a small white cursor with a black border, and against a white document or a screen sometimes the mouse can be difficult to find, especially if you have two monitors and you're trying to see on which monitor the mouse is. It can be quite hard to find, especially if you don't have really good eyesight. So today we're going to show you how to make your mouse a different color, how to change the size, and how to manage your cursor so that when you're in a document your cursor is easy to find. First things first, the easiest way to find things in Windows is to use the Windows built-in search. So let's turn that on first. So we're going to right click on our taskbar down at the bottom here, and then in the window that opens we're going to go to search and we're going to select show the search box. We now have a search box down here that we can search for almost anything. So let's search for mouse, and you can see here it comes up with mouse settings in the system settings. So we can just click on that and it opens up our mouse settings. The slider up at the top here allows you to change your cursor speed. What that means is if you move your cursor speed to a much slower speed, then when you move your mouse, it takes a lot of mouse movement to get the cursor to move anywhere. If you had to move it to a very fast speed, the same thing would apply. A very small amount of movement on the cursor would only, when you move your mouse, the cursor would move very far. So the medium setting here works best for me, but of course you can set that to whatever you want. In the next option down, we have the multiple lines at a time. In the multiple lines at a time, you can either scroll one screen at a time with your wheel on your mouse, or you can scroll multiple lines. Down here you choose how many lines to scroll with the mouse. So if you like to move very quickly through things, you can increase the amount of lines that you scroll when you use the mouse wheel to scroll, or you can reduce that to make it scroll a lot slower. The scroll on an active Windows, when I hover over them, is more difficult to understand, but I'll demonstrate to you exactly how it works. Let's go ahead and turn this off. Now let's come down and we'll open Windows Explorer, and I'm going to scroll all the way up to my Documents folder and show my documents. I'm then going to come down here and I'm going to right click on this and open an additional window on Windows Explorer. So now I have two windows open. So the top window is my active window, and if I open my Documents folder here, I can scroll up and down to find the file that I want. If I go to the inactive window and scroll, it still scrolls my active window only. But if I come over here and I turn this on and I come back to my active window over here, and I go to, let's get the other window where I can see it. And I go here, I can now scroll this window, but I can also scroll the inactive window. So now I can actually scroll both windows without having to make the inactive window an active window. This can be very useful if you have multiple documents like Word, and you have two Word documents open, and you want the ability to be able to scroll in your active document as well as in your inactive document. So quite a useful feature to turn on. Now we come to the exciting part and how you adjust your mouse and cursor size. You can see my cursor is reasonably large. It's also yellow, so it doesn't matter where I go with it over any document, my cursor is very, very visible. So we're going to click on here where it says adjust mouse and cursor size. And here we can change the pointer size to whatever size we want. As you can see, I can make it really, really large if I want to, but I can adjust it down to what I want. I can then adjust the color of the pointer to something that's highly visible that I can see. In this particular selection here, you have to select this to get a custom color to be able to get it the way that you want. In this selection here, what happens with the mouse, if you select this, you can see the mouse goes black, but if it goes over a black section, it turns to white as you go along. This is simply a black mouse that doesn't change color, but you can adjust the size of it, of course. This is the default white mouse that Windows comes with, and typically it's very small. It's about this size, which is quite hard to see sometimes, especially if you are on a white document or you have multiple monitors. So let's get the size up a little bit over here, and then I can come over here, click on the custom color, select yellow or blue or whatever suits your fancy, but I think yellow works extremely well, as you can see it against almost any color out there. Now let's go ahead and look at how we manage our cursor. So if we click on the text cursor here, you can see if I come over here and I click, it's very easy to find my cursor because it has a highlight or an indicator of 2 points on either end of the cursor, so it's easy for me to find. If I turn the text cursor indicator off and I click, the cursor then just becomes a small line. And again, sometimes it may be a little bit difficult to find it. So what we can do is to turn the text indicator on. Now if I put it here, I can clearly see exactly where the cursor is, and I can adjust the size of it to get a much bigger indicator, and in fact I can probably get fairly ridiculous with it so that there's no doubt at all about where the cursor is located. But if I set the cursor back down here somewhere, say around about, let's move it up to about, say here, to 2, I have a pretty nice indicator of exactly where my cursor is. I can also choose the color that I wanted to display, and I find in this case a darker color definitely works much better for you to be able to find your cursor. Well, we've come to the end of another Selective Solutions Tech Tips, and of course if you have computer or network problems, you're always able to get help by simply calling 770-929-1155 and pressing option 1 for support, and our support desk will be able to take care of you. Thanks very much for watching. I appreciate you taking the time.